Okay, it's May 17th, and this is a shop update for today. But the one thing that I want to address first off of is I have hit 1,000 subscribers. I don't know who it was. I'm not, I'm on YouTube, but I really don't know the logistics of YouTube. Sometimes when somebody subscribes to my channel, I will get their name and everything. Other times, there's subscribers that just subscribe and I'm never actually notified about it or can't tell who it is. So that was the case. I have no idea who the 1,000th subscriber was, but it happened yesterday, the 16th. So if you were that person, if you subscribed on the 16th, man, thanks. You're number 1,000. It'll fluctuate. It'll probably go back down again to below 1,000, but it has a tendency of doing that. People, I don't know, again, I don't know the logistics of YouTube, but I know from my experience that sometimes things will pop up as you might want to watch. And that probably happens to a lot of people. They get a hit on my channel about something that they're interested in, and then unsubscribe. So whatever. But it's a big deal to me. So let's get into the shop update. I had a bunch of hauls this week, so there wasn't really a lot going on. I had to go down to Nashville and pick up some racking components for a guy, and then I had to come back and some of those components that I picked up were on a sale to a customer. So he had to split the load. I delivered the racking components that I had picked up in Nashville. It was on a Wednesday morning. He split the part of the load and put it back on my trailer along with some racks and cross members, and I had to take it to Syracuse. And then I came back, and the next day I had to go back out there again and pick up more and take another load to Syracuse. The loads both wouldn't have fit on my trailer at one time, so that's why 2 different trips. But anyways, with that, it's hard to get shop time in. You come back and it still might be mid-afternoon, but you're kind of on a wind down a little bit from the trip. But anyways, let's get into the shop update. Okay, so I'm over here at the drill bit cabinet. I just kind of did that shop update intro about the 1,000 subscribers. So let me talk about the drill cabinet. I had discussed painting this drill cabinet in another shop update in the paint, and if anybody's interested in it, what I'll do is I'll reference that shop update down in the description. What my problem with the paint is that it was terribly runny, very watery, and it left streaks because of the nozzle configuration. Instead of getting a fan type spray pattern, you get a kind of a stream that comes out of the nozzle. And it doesn't matter, it's a kind of a concentrated stream, and you can pull back and the stream gets wider a little bit, but it's still too concentrated. What is done is left streaks in the paint. So I talked about that I had wanted to keep using it because I didn't want to paint over other paint. I've been gone on a road trip for a couple of days and come back and the streaks are still visible. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bite the bullet and buy another paint, maybe Rust-Oleum. Try Rust-Oleum again, buy another paint and repaint it with that. I'm not happy with it. I know it's just a drill cabinet, but it annoys me, and I'm not going to leave it sitting here in the shop, because every time I will look at it, I'll get annoyed by the damn thing. So I'm going to try and resolve that paint issue. The same thing applies to the welder, and let me shut you off and take you over there. This is the cover plate kind of off of the Lincoln welder, Ideal Arc Lincoln welder, 250 amp, old school type welder. I did the same thing. What I was going to do is take the welder apart, the exterior of it, just repaint it, get a fresh coat of paint on it. The old paint was very beat up and very faded. But I've got the same issue with this, and not really sure how well you're going to be able to see it, but given the fact that I'm showing it to you through a camera, I've got the same issue. There's runs there and there's streaks through it. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to bite the bullet and change paints. If they interact with each other or react against each other, so be it. I'll just have to deal with that issue at the time. But I'm going to change paints. I'm just biting the bullet and I'll change the paints. One of the things that I did is I went out and got some leads. When I bought that welder, that Ideal Arc welder, there was no leads to it. So what I did is I went out and got two 25-foot leads. One is for the Stinger, one is for ground. I bought a couple of welding lead cable connects to the machine, bolt them onto the machine, and then I can connect it. I've got the leads and the ground clamp on an 8-foot lead independently. So if I want to lengthen the leads or do something like that, I have that capability. So because the Stinger and ground clamp are on its own separate leads, shorter leads, so I can configure it however I want to. Okay, from another shop update, you know about the tapered drill bits that I bought. I just showed you a little while ago the drill cabinet. Here's what I've got done so far out of the Evaporust and cleaned up. I'll take you over and show you what I've got left to do. And here's the 2 buckets of what's left to do. There's another batch in the Evaporust right now. I do have to go out and get some more Evaporust because I don't have enough. It deplenishes, part of it evaporates, but every time I take drill bits out of there, I lose some of it. So got to go out and get another gallon or 2 of it, but I'll bring you back on something else. Okay, I told you about the trip to Nashville. I'm just going to show you a brief clip of the trailer loaded. It was the next morning after I got back from Nashville, and I was headed out to deliver these things. So brief clip of that. 1,000 subscribers. Man, I'm happy. Okay, I'm not really sure how well you're going to be able to see this. I'm here, it's very early the next morning from when I went to Nashville, and I just kind of wanted to show you the load on the trailer. And that's that small skid up on top that I was talking about. They very well could have taken a couple or 3 or 4 out of each one and just added them into the other bundles. But what I had to do is one of the bundles I had to set on the ramps in my trailer. Now it fit perfectly. No really overhang in the back, even though you're allowed to have a little bit of an overhang in the back. There was really no overhang in the back, so it worked out well. This plastic, I probably said before in the video that I hate this plastic. It just flops all over the place. but I'm going to get going. I'll bring you back when something else exciting happens. So one of the other things that I found out from posting of another shop update, I told you guys about after the auction, I had gone to another place that I had met some guys at the auction, and they said they had had some taper drill bits. I showed these things in that video and said on the video that I didn't know what these things were. I thought they were some kind of jaws for something, and one of my viewers came back and said that they were spade bits for metal cutting. Now, I had never heard of them before. So I kind of looked it up, and yep, he is absolutely correct. They are spade bits for metal cutting. I'm not sure of the holder, the chuck or holder that these things go into, what that actually looks like. I didn't do enough research on them to figure that out, but one of the things is that Brian Block might, I'm going to give some to him. He's used them before, doesn't probably use them very frequently, but I'd rather see him go to somebody that possibly could use them rather than just scrap them. So I'm going to send some of these to Brian Block, and actually he suggested meeting me when I went down to Nashville, meeting me on one of the either going or return trip out of Nashville. But I was on a very tight schedule and I didn't want to do it. And one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it is I knew that I was picking this up, hauling stuff and delivering it to and picking it up to small companies or individuals is one thing. Usually you can deal with it. Sometimes when you pick it up and deliver things to large companies, you know that there very possibly could be complications to it. And I kind of knew that that's what was going to be happening, that I was on a tight schedule and that there was possibly going to be complications. Well, I was right. You know, the guy that had bought this stuff that I was picking it up for and had to deliver it to was said that they had had a long discussion about how to palletize this and how it was going to be stacked on my trailer, the dimensions of my trailer and everything like that, and how it was going to be stacked and how it was going to be palletized. And I get there and shipping and receiving knew nothing about the order or me picking it up on that date. So I couldn't meet Brian, but what I'm going to do is pick some out that look good to me and send it to him. So one of the other things that I had been talking about is redoing the toolbox tour, or doing a tour and updating you on some of the new things. But I need to do that. I need to get the shop cleaned up a little bit. I got to there's a lot of things that have got to be cleaned up. You know, the haul truck, I need to get those axles out of here, whether they're going to the scrap yard or whether the salvage yard wants them. But I've got to get the old axles off of the truck out of here, free up some space, get this new axle for the haul truck moved over to there to where I'm going to be building the rear suspension for it. I've also got these things that I need to get listed and put on eBay that I want to sell, that I bought in that when I bought that stuff from the guy from the auction. But I'll bring you back to other things. Okay, the haul truck. I'm still waiting for that saw to cut those springs off of. I've again been busy, been doing other things, been hauling. I'm kind of had my plan set around cutting the springs off with that saw. So I'm gonna borrow it. I'm not gonna press the guy that I'm borrowing it from to get it at a certain time. I've just, if I don't get it within the next couple of days, I'll switch my focus and start on something else involving the truck. But there will be a video coming out about it as soon as I get back and working on it again. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this shop update. I really want to thank you guys for subscribing. Really happy about that 1,000 mark. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe. Leave a comment.